And then you do have a raised hand too.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a little bit. But welcome to grade 3 Braille. And we are on episode 21, I believe, but in the book, it's lesson 18. So it's been a couple weeks, but we finished all those sentences with the first grouping of lower word signs. There were 20 sentences. And if you didn't get those, then you can go on YouTube. We do have our own channel under grade 3 Braille. It's grade space, the numeral 3 space Braille. And all of these lessons are recorded and uploaded within, I'd say, 1 to 2 days after we do it. So feel free to look us up on YouTube. And if you ever can't find the videos or have any questions, I'll give my email here at the beginning and the end. My email is Braille, BRAILLE, mailbox, MAILBOX @gmail.com. Braille mailbox @gmail.com. And do you see any other panelists, Lucy? Or should we go ahead and get started?
Nancy is here. Here she is.
Bring her up.
Promote her. Here we go.
Here I am.
There you are.
Okay. And I don't think Bob is here yet, is he?
Nope.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Does anyone feel like they need a review of any of the lower word signs that we've done so far? Because I know we've added a few for the last couple lessons.
Jeanette wanted to ask a question.
Yeah,
so
we'll go ahead with her.
Go ahead, Jeanette. You can unmute, Jeanette. There you go.
Okay. The last lesson that we did not get uploaded to YouTube. Do we know what happened to it?
Oh, I definitely have it. I have a lady who uploads for me, so I will send her a note just to make sure.
Because what it is it's the last of the sentences.
Yeah.
And like Lucy, I go through those lessons more than once because I never get them on the first try.
Okay,
so good.
I'll send her a message. I'm glad you told me that because I don't always look at it.
That's kind of what I figured because I've never seen you not have it like several days after. And I know you've had a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lady in California who does it for me, and I'll send her a quick note. But thanks for the update. All right. Does anyone feel like they want me to go over the last grouping of word signs before I kind of jump into more? I think I'll just do a quick review. So we're all on the same page. It's been a couple weeks and I've been out of a couple classes and we've had convention. So let's see. We were on. So we did the one-celled signs with on them, what, we, now. That was one of our last ones. And then I'll get to the word signs, the lower signs. Okay, so our last lesson, we talked about spacing rules, linking lower signs. And that was where we did the sentences. So I'm just going to go through the ones we introduced in lesson 17. So am is .2. Am is .2. BE is a lower B. And if you know grade 2, which we all pretty much do, you should know BE is the lower B. Is .2, 5. So is going to look like a colon, dots 2, 5. R is a lower D, so that would be dots 2, 5, 6. ARE, dots 2, 5, 6. Ben, BEEN, is a lower F, So dots 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. Were, we all know that one, lower G, shouldn't be too hard. His is lower H, and was is lower J. So those ones in grade 2, they all stay the same. Nothing changes with those grade 2. And I'll just go over quickly the rules. In all ordinary circumstances, the lower linking signs may join the word which precedes and follows them without any intervening space. So that's just the basic rules. I'm looking to see if there's anything like all the other rules that you have learned thus far in grade 3. This rule should not be applied if there would be any confusion in the recognition of word sequences. Remember that our objective is instant clarity. Okay, so then we had all those sentences. There were 20 of them. Now we're jumping into lesson 18, additional lower word signs and spacing of lower word signs. So it gives us the remaining 5 lower signs. They are an is dot 2. So we'll notice an and am are the same. An is dot 2 and am is dot 2. And I don't know why they put them in 2 different lessons, but they did.
Because they're, I can tell you why, because they're am and they're treated differently. When you get to the spacing, you'll see how they're treated differently. And am, the lower linking sign, is one of those to be verbs. Am, is, are, was, that go in that pattern.
Oh yes.
So yeah, they're treated differently. When you get to spacing, you'll see spacing for the sign for an is different from am. So there should never be a confusion as to which one it is.
Okay, that makes sense. So we have an is dot 2. Our next one is at, which is dot 3. Come, C-O-M-E, is dots 3, 6. So you think of that C-O-M sign. It's dots 3, 6, just means come. Enough, we all know that one, is a lower, so it's dots 2, 6, lower E. In, we all know that one, is a lower I, which is dots 3, 5. So we have an, at, come, enough, and in are our 5 that we're adding tonight. And I'll go over the rules here and we'll kind of give some examples. The signs for at and an may precede any word without intervening space. So those ones can come before at and an. So at is a preposition and an is an article, so they kind of go before anyway. The example they give, I'm gonna have someone kind of see if they can describe how you would write this. At the right time. At the right time. Does anyone want to talk that through?
Anybody? All right. Ralph, you can unmute. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. At the right time, wouldn't it be dot to 3, the sign, dot 5R, dot 5T?
And there's a space. Where would you put that one space?
Well, my phone's going crazy.
Oh, there's a space in this sequence. They do have one space.
All right. I guess it would be after the.
At the right is all run together. And then there's
Wow.
a space before time.
Jeez. Okay.
And I
All
kind of
right.
think, why couldn't it be written all together? Maybe Nancy knows a little more on that, but
Technically it can, but they haven't taught us that rule yet. So that's the only reason they haven't written it that way yet. When they teach us that rule, they'll start writing it that way.
okay. So for now,
There is a rule about
they-
2-celled word signs, but yeah, but that's why they haven't done it yet.
at the right time, there's a space before time, but everything else is correct. So at the right is all run together. And there's a couple more. An unusual situation. That's got a couple signs in it. Does anyone want to talk that through? An unusual situation.
All right. Hannah.
Well, let's see how bad I can do on this one. Let's see. Anne would be dot 2, and that would be attached to, I think it could be attached to unusual, which would be the ing sign, US dots 56L. I'm guessing there would be a space there.
Yeah.
And situation would be, I think would be SIE U dot 6N. I would think.
Yeah, she got it all right. You were a little hesitant, but you got it.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah. So I'll go over it one more time just to clarify. So we have dot 2 is the and, which runs right into unusual, which is the ing sign for un. US, and then that UAL becomes dot 56L space situation, SITU dot 6N.
Cool.
Okay. The sign for, this is another rule, the sign for come, enough, and in, this book is very, very old and it's getting very rubbed down. The sign for come, enough, and in may be written without an intervening space before any one or two-celled sign. So may be written without an intervening space before any one or two-celled sign. And it says the two-celled signs are introduced in the next lesson. So we're not quite there. But the example they give is enough time. This is real easy. Anyone want to jump for it if you've been nervous to do anything so far tonight? Go ahead, Jeanette.
All right. Jeanette, go ahead, Jeanette.
Enough, the dots 2-6 and then dot 5T.
Yeah, I almost didn't even give it out. It was so easy. That's a bonus one. Had enough interest. In that one, there is no changes. So had enough interest. Now because you couldn't run it the enough into the interest. Had enough interest. I almost think something should be run together. Maybe written without an intervening space before any one or two-celled signs. So
Yeah, interest is not a one or two-celled sign.
no, and
as
had
we
is
know it right
before.
now. And had is before it, yeah.
Yeah, so you
So you
couldn't do
can't-
the had.
Right. Had enough, you have to, that space has to be there and interest has to be there because that is still not a two-celled sign.
The next one is in his studies. does anyone want to tackle? In his studies.
Anybody?
I think
All
Jeanette
right.
has her hand up.
Jeanette?
I also have a question. Did you say that we would put a space between had and enough?
No, it
Okay.
can't be spaced because had is coming before the enough.
Well, that's what she's saying. Should there
So
be a
you would
space there? Yes,
space.
there should. Yes, there should
Yeah,
be a space
should be.
between had and enough. That's correct.
Interest. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot which one I said I was going to do.
in his
That's 35
studies.
that's 236 space STD. I know there's an IE sign, but I can't remember what it is. S.
We would actually do so it can all run together. So we don't need any space in this one. So we have the in the his, which you got right, the IN sign, the lower H, and then studies, the U stays, and then D, I, and then the only thing we use is the ES sign.
Which is, wait a minute, STUDI. ES is
Think about like notes. What was the
Z.
contraction for? Yeah. In his studies, IN sign, lower H, STUDI, Z. Now the U we don't outline because the first letter, it's a rule. I think it follows the rule regarding clarity.
Well, it's the you don't outline because the only syllable that can be outlined from a first syllable is the A unless there's an I and that one exception with GH. So that's
leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You leave that.
I think Mary has a question. Mary, you can unmute.
Yes, I have one. Now, why wouldn't there be a space between his and studies?
Because his is a lower linking sign. It's one of the lower linking signs that can be that links. That's why they call them linking signs, is because there's no space on either side of them, except
Okay.
in the they give you the exception with punctuation and whatnot. So there's a couple times you have to space, but most of the time in those linking signs you do not.
Okay, got it.
And we have another one. The example they give is place in proper order. And anyone want to talk that through? Might give you a hint. The spacing is kind of a trick question. Place in proper order.
All right. Ralph.
Would it be PLCE? My phone's doing it again. Sorry. PLCE IN sign. We haven't got to the PRO yet, so yes, we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can't remember it. Jeez.
So the PL and then the A can be outlined, but
right.
there's a CE sign.
That's that's the lower, that's the .36, isn't it?
Yeah. So we have PL36.
Right. Okay. Then the IN sign, that's together. proper and then space. There's an OR sign. I can't remember it.
We
I can't remember
haven't
all this
gotten
stuff.
there yet. So they have the
Okay.
place, they had the PL lower, the PL 36
Okay.
space. They
Yeah.
have it space,
Okay. Then
IN
IN
sign,
and then proper
space,
order. Oh my goodness.
proper space order. So
Wow.
I kind of said it was a trick, but yeah, there is no spacing that runs together. It's all spaced out.
That's because
Wow.
there aren't any of the, if you look at the spacing rules there are not any, it's nothing that it can be spaced next to.
Huh. Okay.
The one or
Well,
two celled signs, no, even, you know,
The
even
PLC
in,
and the
even in can't, even
Because-
in has to space.
in
right?
has to, yeah, because it only can be written next to it, before, not after, but before a one or two celled word sign. And because proper is not a one or two celled word sign,
Oh,
Okay.
And-
that's why in can't be used there. Even with the PRO, it's still not just the two celled sign by itself. So you'd still have to space with the word in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
It makes sense if I could remember everything.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
That's the challenge, I know.
And the place is not a one or two cell word either. So yeah,
Well, you couldn't write in after that anyway, because you can't space it. It's before the word, not after the word in the
yeah.
rule. So
and
even
couldn't
if
that,
it was a one or two celled word sign, it's still, the in could not be spaced. You would have to have a space between the word and the in after it.
because couldn't it be confused as a dash hyphen?
If it was in the middle of a word, but not where you, not at the, not after a PL.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CE is, it's, once you get used to, I know it's really confusing right now, guys. Once you get used to reading these signs in different parts of words and know where the rule, is and where it is, where you can't space and whatever, these will become clearer, I promise.
Can
I'm
you
trying
go
to think of
over
it.
that again? The place in proper order. So P.
Yeah. So PL and then the A is outlined. So we get rid
Yeah.
of it. And then there's a CE sign, which is
Mhm.
dots 3-6
Yeah.
space, IN sign, space, proper, space, order spelled out.
So proper is dots 456P and then PER.
They have it PROPER sign.
Oh, why can't you use?
Yeah, I guess they assume we haven't gotten to it yet.
I thought we
But-
did.
Well, okay, technically we have, but they haven't said, they said that's what it was, but they haven't, maybe it's because of the two P's there. Maybe that's why they
Oh,
do
because
it.
it'd be 456P.
PPER. Maybe that's why they didn't do it.
It'd
Would
look
you?
a little weird.
But
Would you do it?
proper PRO. Wow. I might. Proper.
I would.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably PRO sign PER. Yeah, I could see why that would work. But I guess they haven't shown it to us in, technically, I don't know, maybe it's technically they haven't totally given it to us. They've only given it to us in a couple words like probable and probably, but they haven't really presented it. Maybe that's why they write it out.
And then order, couldn't you use the OR sign? The
Um,
35346?
That, no, because remember that at the beginning of the word, that stands for UN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you wouldn't want to use
okay.
that at the beginning of a word because it stands for UN there.
Then you're
Okay.
thinking like undo, unusual.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
unusual, undo. unwind,
Yeah.
you're going to have that same sign. So that's why it's written as a word, the word or, which has a space on either side of it, rather than or. Yeah, it has a space on either side of it in most cases. So that wouldn't be confused with anything.
Okay.
I kind of think of all these spacing rules like when UEB first came out. I'm like, how am I going to remember all these contractions and what you can and can't do? But now my mind just writes in UEB. I think in
Oh.
UEB.
I'm
Because
glad
you're
you do.
young.
I
That's because
still
you're
can't.
young.
I still can't get out of the old grade 2
I can't either,
Oh.
thing
Nancy.
that
I
I've
can't
been
either.
in. So UEB
Like if
just
I
totally flummoxed me.
Me too.
If I write like conversation, I think A56N.
Oh, I can't do. Oh, that just looks so wrong to me.
Yeah. So
Oh
grade
my
3,
gosh.
if you study it enough, it will come
Yeah.
out like that. Your brain is still capable.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And I mean, I used to write that ALLY, Tally, Sally.
Right.
And now
Oh,
we have a group member in our rosary named Sally. And I said, she lost her name.
oh
She
no.
lost. She had to be renamed. But yeah, it'll come naturally the more you look at it, is the point. So we have a couple more. Come to an end. Come to an end.
Oh, yeah, this one's fun.
All right. Jeanette.
Okay. Oh, come. I know it's here. I do know it's here. 2.
Yeah.
Would be 235. And would be dot 2.
Yeah.
And then and sign D, but come.
Think of
would
the
be
word come.
we just
How you
had that
pronounce
one.
3-6.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Come to an end. So I'll go over it one more time. We have 3-6, lower F for the 2, dot 2 for and end, EN sign D, no spacing.
Cool.
Yep.
And as for keeping a list, I would recommend that you keep some kind of a list of these contractions. I know there's some that we added tonight, but whether you have a Braille note, a Perkins, a slate, kind of keep your own little reference book. So make it a lot easier. And we have one more before I go on to another rule. He would come Friday. He would come Friday.
All right. Ralph.
All right. He, HE, would, WD, come, dot 36 space, Friday.
Actually, they have it all spaced out.
What?
He
Oh,
space WD space 36 space Friday.
Well, see, that is against that's
What
okay.
okay, where are you confusing it, Ralph? Because that's actually all correct. So what rule are you confusing it with? Where are you confused?
See, I thought that if it was a double syllable word, you had to space it.
A double syllable word?
Yeah, like
Double
like properly, like proper. That's
right.
what
Okay, double syllables have nothing to do with whether you space a word or not. Ever.
Okay.
I don't know where you learned that, but that was never taught in any it's all because of either what kind of Braille, what kind of sign it is, or what kind of signs are being put together or not put together. That's the rules that have to do with spacing. So syllables won't have anything to do with it. So HE space WD space 36 space, right, FRIDAY dot 5D would all be correct for that sentence.
Because with
Right.
the word, with these lower signs, like the come, we're looking for a 1 or 2 cell word.
The word
Every-
sign, okay. The reason I'm stopping you here is because I want to make sure it's a 2-celled word sign, like .5D, not WD. WD is a word that has 2 cells, but would, that's called a short form word. What they are defining as the 2-celled word signs are all the word signs that have .5, .45, .4, or .456, before them, like day, father, mother, many, those are 2-celled word signs. That is what they're defining as 2-celled word sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have,
Okay.
go ahead. Like the had enough interest was a little confusing to me,
Well,
and probably some other people.
It's because that 2-celled sign comes before the word enough, not after.
We're
it.
looking for it to come after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
So
What was wrong? What are you still confused, Ralph? What?
That's a better explanation. But still, so he is not a 2-cell word sign. He is
Not
just HE, right?
Oh, HE, and when it's written just HE like that, no, that's correct. It is not a 2-celled word sign. It's a 2-celled word because it's only got 2 cells in it, but
Yes.
it doesn't make it a 2-celled word sign.
I got you. Okay. I'm having to deal with a dog here, so it's all good. All right, we're good.
yeah.
We're good.
So
All right. I'll make sure he had that.
So the word, what we're looking for is the 1 or 2 celled, like cannot or some of those. Yeah, we're not
Right.
looking for the ones that are shortened, because I always think of it, and I've taught contractions to a few sighted people. Short forms like CD is could. Short forms are something you could write in print, and if you both agreed on the same code, it would make sense. .5s you could not write in print, so those are word
that
signs.
makes that works. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had a couple sighted friends in high school, and they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, you could not write .456s in print. It would not make sense, and there wouldn't be a way to do it. But you could write WD in print. So
No,
that's where
I
they
did.
differentiate.
I did know a sighted person who knew Braille, who used like .456s. She would write it in her own shorthand and knew that was spirit for her own notes. She would write 2, 3 little dots, 1, 2, 3 dots, and then she'd write the S, for her own shorthand.
Yeah.
That's only because she knew, what she was doing. But most print people wouldn't do that.
No, but sighted people could say CD for could.
Yeah.
So that's where they differentiate. We're looking for those ones that are only able to be understood in Braille. Those are the word signs that we're talking about here. So the next rule, the words a and have, or a and have, can follow any word preceding them without an intervening space. So a and have can follow any word coming before them without an intervening space. So they're saying plan A, like PLNA with no space. Like if you're going to plan a party, you just do PLNA. So that A and the have can have anything coming before it with no space. Request A. So the request, we have the RE sign, which is OW. And then Q So OWQSTA all run together is request A. Now I'll get the group one. We have a, what would that be?
All right. Hannah?
No, I think there's a sign for we, but it totally skipped my mind.
The we, I'll give you, the we is the ER sign.
Okay, so the ER sign AH all strung together. Is that what it would be?
You get the last two backwards. So ERHA. Yeah,
Oh.
that's right though. Yeah.
ERHA. Okay, something's wrong with my brain, I think.
We have a, so there would need to be no space. We have a. We'll do one more, we'll talk it through. Those children have. Those children have.
All right, Mary. Hold on. Mary, you were first.
Okay, I put those, the 4 or 5 TH sign, and then I spaced, I put children, and right after children, I put the H for have.
Yay.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so now we have some sentences. And what I think I'm going to do, we'll kind of do this like Audrey did, where I'm going to dictate all of the sentences here now, so you have them. And we'll probably do at least 2 or 3 together tonight, but that way you can work on them. And we'll come back next week and discuss. So there are 20 of them.
Ooh.
And we're supposed to write them in grade 3. So if everyone has something to write with, I will probably only say them once and repeat them once, since there's 20. So I'll give everyone about 30 seconds here to grab a Braille or grab a Braille note. Something that you can save for later and keep for next week. Okay, so our first sentence, and I would write these just in grade 2 for now. Write them like you normally would. At the top of the page, there is an article about the comparative lifespans of living things. I'll go again. Sentence 1. At the top of the page, there is an article about the comparative lifespans, plural, of living things. Okay, sentence 2. Not many animals live to be as old as people. Not many animals live to be as old as people. Sentence 3. It would indeed be crowded in this world if many creatures had a lifespan of 60 years. So sentence 3, it would indeed be crowded in this world if many creatures had a lifespan of 60 years. Can you imagine how many guide dogs there'd be? Sentence 4, we have come to know that elephants really do not live a long time. we have come to know that elephants really do not live a long time. Sentence 5. Consider, okay, we'll take the hand.
Sorry, I was muted. Jeanette,
Is it rarely or really?
Really, we have come to
Really?
know that elephants really do not live a long time.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sentence 5. Consider an example of an animal that lives longer than man, dash dash, so an M dash, the giant tortoise. Consider an example of an animal that lives longer than man, M dash, the giant tortoise, period. Sentence 6. Sunflowers are like many other plants in that they survive only one summer. So sentence 6 again. Sunflowers are like many other plants in that they survive only one summer. Sentence 7. If you come to California, you can see some of the oldest plants we know of, dash dash, trees that have lived for 3 or 4,000 years. So the 3 and the 4 they have written out here. So I'll go again. Sentence 7. If you come to California, comma, you can see some of the oldest plants we know of, M dash, trees that have lived for 3 or 4,000 years. So 3 THREE, not the number, or 4,000 years. Sentence 8. In science class, you will learn that the Rocky Mountains are millions of years younger than the mountains in the eastern part of our country. So sentence 8. In science class, they do not have a comma, you will learn that the Rocky Mountains are millions of years younger than the mountains in the eastern part of our country. And I will note here that when you're writing things in grade 3, like proper nouns, when we had the example of Friday, they do not use any capitalization just because it saves space. So when you're writing Rocky Mountains, if you want to put a little margin note, no capitalization in grade 3. Sentence 9. Scientists do not have enough knowledge yet to tell certainly how old the Earth is. So 9 again. Scientists do not have enough knowledge yet to tell certainly how old the Earth is. Okay, sentence 10. They have come to believe, comma, however, comma, that it is at least 3 billion years old. They have come to the believe, however, that it is at least 3 billion years old. Okay, I lied. That was the 10 that were in grade 2. Now we have some that are in grade 3 that we need to translate back to grade 2. So I'm debating, do we want to do those? Does anyone have questions on those? Or
You
need
have a
anything
hand.
repeated? Okay, go ahead.
All right, Hannah.
Yeah, in sentence 10, is the 3, is that a number 3 or is that written all out?
All the numbers are written out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
When we did
So-
the sentences with Audrey, when we got to the second half that was written in grade 3, translated to grade 2, we actually didn't do that. We just translated everything into grade 2 for them, and let them translate everything back into grade 3. That's what we did.
Okay, that's how they did it.
That's what we did.
So,
But yeah. that's-
Yeah. Okay, so for now, we'll start working on those first 10. And then next week, we'll look at the other 10. So
Yeah, good idea.
that way, because we only have about 10 minutes. So I want to
Yeah.
actually work on something.
Yep.
So next week, we'll kind of tackle the other 10 and I'll have them written out. So our first sentence at the top of the page, there is an article about the comparative lifespans of living things. So I'll give everyone about 47 after. I'll give about 2 minutes. And then we can talk about it. About 1 more minute. "30 seconds. It's not a race. It's not like categories. If you get tired of it. Okay, we'll go here. So, and one person doesn't have to tackle it all. We can kind of work through it. But does anyone want to get us started?
All right. Jeanette.
Okay, so at is dot 3, and then the sign, and then top, I put TP, but I bet you're going to tell me it has to be TOP.
Yeah, TOP.
So I'm going to fix that. Space of the together, and right after that, P, and then lower G.
At the
Good
top,
job.
you got that right, of the
Page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Okay,
Yep.
and that's as far as I got because I'm slow.
That's okay. At the top of the page, and then there'd be a space after page.
And then there is dot 5 TH, and then is dot 25. And
And that
then
would run together.
and then right after that would be and now somebody else can take over.
Okay. So after that, and we'll decide if there needs to be a space or not.
Isn't that Anne?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and.
Oh, you said and.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
I
and.
meant Anne.
Well, even okay, yeah. Yeah. After the and article.
So that, who wants to start with an article? Oh, okay, we got a taker.
All right. Mary.
Okay, I'm still kind of confused about the spacing after some of these. Like I didn't space after my ad at the beginning. So I also
That's
didn't.
right.
Okay, so let's see, but I did space after Anne. So I don't know. I guess I'm not being consistent.
Okay,
But-
Anne can always be written before Anne can always be written. The word right after Anne can always be written without the space. Like what the Anne is referring to. Think of those two things as being connected, like an article. Those two things are connected. So the Anne, and like there's the same thing with the word at whatever at is connected to, it doesn't have to be spaced. Like
Okay.
after
So
it,
add an
anything that comes
and.
after it.
Add an and are connected to what they're talking about. They're preposition. No, they're not prepositions. Not
Oh.
and anyway.
Right.
And
Okay.
an article.
Yeah,
And-
and's
right.
an article. Okay.
Right.
So no space after and then I wrote article ARTIC. Then I put a Q for the LE sign. Then I spaced, and then I put AB for about, and then I put a space. Then I put the THE sign, and I put no space after that. And I put the COM sign, PAR sign, A, TV, space, life, LIFE, spelled out, space, spans, SPNS, space, of, no space, living, written out, LIVING sign, space, and then things the way it usually is written, period.
Okay. Oh, I should let Christina do that. I mean, Kristen
Go
do
ahead,
this.
Nancy. You're better than
No.
I am. Go ahead.
Okay, so your SP, did you just write SP? The
Oops.
letters SP?
I did. Oh, I forgot about that
Sign.
sign.
Yep,
It's
there's
the,
an SP sign. Yep,
yeah, it's the GH sign.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
So
Yep.
Okay.
You can
So did
use
I.
that.
Okay.
And also there was another one. Oh, living. What can you do if the last letter is an E and the word is the last
Oh,
letter of the root word is is an
Oh,
E, but
yeah.
the I is there? What can you do?
you put a G,
LI.
LIVG.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm not even using shortcuts that they have. Wow.
Hey,
Well,
it's
thank
getting
you.
used to putting everything in there. It's all the little details. I know it's getting used to putting
Yeah.
everything in there.
Wow,
But-
those didn't even cross my mind.
So I was doing these last night to kind of have them in front of me and think them through. It's kind of like an algebra equation to see what else you can do to it.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
multiply, divide?
I like math
Subtract.
way. I mean, I like Braille way better than I never like math because I don't like math. But
Appreciate that
feeling-
help.
You're peeling
Okay.
back an onion.
Yep.
We have some hands here.
Okay.
Kathy.
Hi,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
until just a minute ago I couldn't find my book. So before we end today, could you please go back over one more time the 5 words that you gave and all those? so I can write them down.
And it will be on YouTube, and Nancy probably has it. But
This is true.
I have them.
Yeah.
So you can get them from me if you don't get a chance. Yeah.
I'm going to go over, I'm going to take a couple more hands and I'll go over exactly what this sentence should be, just so everyone has it.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Ralph.
Couldn't you diagram, take out the I in article? It's a short syllable.
But it's, well, yeah, see, I was thinking about that too, but article, isn't it kind of defining? Article.
Yeah.
ARTCL. I mean, what else would it be?
Article. Well,
Because
I guess you could. It's not the I is not the only letter in the syllable, so it's like article. So yeah, I guess you could take it out if you really wanted to. Yeah, you could.
The
Okay.
I out of article.
Out of article, yeah, it's
Yeah.
article.
Oh,
but it's
where
a
the-
short syllable.
It's a short
Yeah.
syllable, right?
okay.
You
And I was
could.
just trying to find the consistency. You know, we're doing.
Well, the only reason that I don't automatically think about taking that one out is it's not a stressed syllable. And usually the ones they're talking about when they outline the short vowels, they're talking about from stressed syllables when they're stressed second syllables, like article. It's not article. So maybe that's why maybe that's why some people don't think
Okay.
you can do that
If I
there. But
write it, it's coming out.
yeah.
End of story.
I like
agree.
his I like his determination there. I like it.
All right,
Okay, so do
Jeanette.
we have any more? Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeanette.
Okay, so lifespans is 2 words.
Yes.
Okay, and can the sign for and be, now that we know it, be used at the beginning of a word?
No, because
No.
that would be not at the beginning of a word like that has
Like
oh,
animals.
yeah,
Oh.
animals. No,
Okay,
because it wouldn't look like, I don't know. It would .2.
And if that were the case, it would be called the initial sign.
Right.
got it. Okay.
Yep. That's the
All
only
right.
actual logical explanation for that, because
Yeah.
there's not really any other way to explain that one.
Okay, so I'm going to
Okay.
go over this unless there's any more hands.
No more hands, and you got 2 minutes.
So this sentence should be .3 THE TOP all run together space of the P lower G, and then there was a comma,
Oh,
space.
Oh, you never gave me the punctuation, so we didn't all know that, but I kind of
Yeah,
figured there
we
might
don't
be,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, either way. So after that G, there's a lower G space there, .5 THE. I'm just going to say it in Braille, colon, .1 AR.
.2.
Dot
Oh,
2.
2.
Dot
Yeah,
2,
I-
yeah.
Cool. So .5 THE colon .2 ARTICQ space about space the 36 PARA TV space
Yep.
life space GHNS space of LIVG space things as we normally do it, period. Okay, that's the best we've gotten it diagrammed.
Wow.
Now, it is 1 minute till. So for next week, we don't have to do all 10. We can do some together, but do a few and see what you can get. You'll get something outlined. You'll get something correct. I mean, there is some exact way, but nothing is wrong. You'll get part of it. And if you're really stuck, or if you're like, where did this come from? Just email us. My email is braillemailbox@gmail.com. And Nancy's is the song mage, MAGE, @yahoo.com. I will say Nancy probably responds quicker than I do, but just email us and say, hey, can you walk me through why this is? So, and we'll be happy to write back and talk you through it. I even did for one person, I recorded my voice and replied back.
Wow.
It was just easier. But
Yeah.
send a little MP3. But yeah, see what you can do. Have fun with it. You have the rules. This will be on YouTube by Saturday for sure.
Do you want to take Ralph's hand real
And
quick?
What'd you say?
I said, do you want to take Ralph's hand real quick?
Okay, we'll go ahead here.
Yes, Ralph.
All right. I just want to say, Lucy, it was a pleasure meeting you at convention,
Oh, thank you. You too.
and I enjoyed our times we were together.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
that
Me
was-
too.
I'd wish
was
I'd been
good.
there with you guys. Oh man, I wanted to go so bad.
I know it was great.
For about 2 hours.
Yeah.
No,
Just
no.
long enough to avoid the COVID. And then I had to
Oh.
go. But,
Oh.
all right, I will close this out for tonight. But next week, it's Bob's turn. We'll see if he wants to do it, or I might do it just to pick up where we left off. But thanks for joining us, and have fun with those sentences.
Bye, everyone.
Okie doke. See you next week.
Good night.
Oh, she didn't close the room.
I am. Hold on, it takes me a second.
Oh no, I thought Lucy was supposed to do it since she was hosting.
Oh, either of us could.
Oh, okay.
I own the webinar, so I have to sign in as me. And then
Oh,
usually-
gotcha.
Here we go. Good night.
Good night.